the plan of this session is very different, right? First I will tell you where you can, there is one recording of my previous session already available on YouTube. If you see them, you will get a lot of learning from there. So I will divide this session into two parts. First 45 minutes I will take to I'll try to correct your mindset, right? Correct some very basic question that must be coming to your head, right? Maybe you are feeling a little bit inferior due to those questions. So I will clarify that so that you get the right mindset for interview preparation. That is the first thing, right? Then what to prepare, obviously. And then second half, that maybe 30 to 45 minutes, I will be telling you, basically taking your questions and answering them one by one, right? And this process will not stop here, right? After the session will be over, maybe I can take another session if you all will be interested, or you can interact with me. I will be answering your questions. Guiding you all for interview is something which I love the most, right? Really. Okay, because I get very basic question and I feel happy to answer, all of you and to help you all, right? Okay, so let me go one by one, and we'll be using few things. So first thing what I recommend, that after this session, okay, basically this is YouTube channel of apttrix. Not many videos are there, but there are some videos which are useful, and one of them is this is the name of the video, that how to score more in IBPS PO interview. This is the link of that particular video. I will try to paste it in the chat window so that you all might get it. So just a minute please, I will paste it here and I will send it to all. I think all of you have received the link. Please confirm, right? So this is the direct link of the video, and if you all just see this video, you will get basic overview that what actually you need to prepare for the interview. At least one aspect, that is your profile based questions, how to prepare and what should be answer, what should be your dressing, right? How you should show confidence in the interview, how you should greet them, how you should enter, how you should sit. Everything is there in this particular video, okay? And then whatever thing is missing, basically I will be taking in this session, and then after that you can interact with me, you can ask me your questions, and that will definitely help you, right? So you can watch this video. This is initial. So then coming here, and I will tell you some social links where you can interact with me. So this is my Facebook profile, and this is official Facebook page. You can use both to interact with me. You can ask your questions there. After the session will be over, you can interact with me using these two, Facebook profile and Facebook page, right? Okay, then let me start the session now. Okay, you are interested in Twitter also? Yes, I'm on Twitter as well. So this is the Twitter handle you can use for your follow-up questions. Okay, so let me take the first question, and that I always tell you all, right, because this is a time where you must be thinking about your marks, mains marks. And the irony is that those who are not selected, they are having their marks, but those who are not have been selected, they don't have marks. They don't know how much they have scored. Initially IBPS used to provide the marks, right? When I gave it in 2013, they actually provided the marks before interview. So everyone has fair idea where they are standing, right? But I think it was bad exercise. What they have done is absolutely right. Okay, that they are not telling the marks, because at that time what happened, those students who were very close to cutoff marks, they were feeling inferior to others, right? And that underconfidence even deteriorated their situation, and they were not able to perform well in the interview. That happened. So that is how this thing was stopped later, that your marks will be declared later, and that is a good thing. Okay, the only focus right now you should have is not about speculating your marks, but giving your best in the interview, right? If you have been called for the interview, the one task at your hand is going with full preparation in the interview. You should not leave any stone unturned. You don't know where you actually stand. Even if you are scoring 52 0.5, that is the cutoff. That doesn't mean that you will stop preparing for the interview. You have to prepare even then, right? So you give your best and try to score best possible marks in the interview. And for that you need to prepare your best, the best you can do from in the remaining time. And there is a lot of time. I think 1.5 months is there before interview starts, which is supposed to be taken in February, right? So there is sufficient time where you can improve a lot in the interview. Okay, and just I will answer one question. Taran is asking what is the best possible marks. Mahendra is asking cutoff is very low. How? I think Mahendra, you should not think about the cutoff. We can talk about it later. We should focus more on interview part today. So the best possible mark, if anyone asks me what is it is. So what I consider to be the safest score is cutoff plus 40%. You can calculate accordingly. It is going to be little more than 72, right? So if anyone is in that range, in my analysis, he will be definitely selected even if he scores 40 marks in interview, right? But don't do that you are going to just get 40 only because you don't know your score. But if anyone is scoring 40% more than the cutoff, he will be in the final list even if he just clears interview, right? This is just an analysis, right? But at this stage you have to prepare actually to get the best mark in the interview, right? Minimum marks in the interview you have to get is 40 to get cleared, right? Yeah, obviously mains marks does matter a lot, but that doesn't mean that if your marks will be lesser, maybe you are scoring 60, that doesn't mean you won't be qualified. People have scored 85 marks also in the interview and they have been in the final list, even if they scored very less in the written, right? So this thing should not be thought at this stage because you don't even know your marks. So why will you involve yourself in speculation only, okay, which is not even known, right? Yes, 40 out of 100, Sonali. Charu, ideally if you do not slap the interviewer, do not abuse the interviewer, right, you will get 40 marks. And you speak something, right? You go to the interview and you are silent, you say that I want to speak, Maun vrat hai hamara. So he may fail you, right? Otherwise 40 is something they they give it to everyone, right? Why they will fail you? Okay, they're not there just to make sure that you get out of the interview without any valid reason. Okay, Aman, if you miss your interview, right, then you won't get selected, sir, even if you score 100% mark in mains exam, right? Pintu is saying I'm not audible, so let me write Pintu to reconnect because I think all of you are hearing me, so there is no issue. Okay, let me start. Did anybody, just forget about that. 100, Charu, this is some question, they do not give 100 out of 100 to anyone in the interview, right? Because nothing is called as perfect. So it's not about getting 100 marks or 90 marks or 95, right? It's about you go with your best preparation and I think you will score very good marks in the interview. Okay, so let me go ahead and take the question that you have. So, many of you must be going for, interview for the first time. So the first question that comes to your head is how to start interview preparation. And knowing this is extremely important before you start your preparation. If your interview preparation will not be organized, you will be wasting a lot of time. And maybe in the last days you get panic that you feel that I'm not at all prepared for the interview, right? So the first thing you have to do is that you have to plan your preparation, that how you are going to prepare for the interview. And based on that planning only you have to work in a proper manner so that in timely basis you will be covering each aspect, and so that finally you will be actually 100% prepared for the interview. So I will be just taking you one by one. Please stop all your questions for the time being. Let me finish my part first. That will take around 30 minutes, I think. After that, I will take all your questions one by one, right? Okay, so why you should prepare even? Some people say that interview is not about preparation. Okay, you just go to the interview without any preparation. Okay, because interview cannot be prepared. Okay, they are just trying to fool you. Maybe they are trying to decrease their competition. A good interview preparation will help you in being very comfortable during interview. If you go into the interview without any preparation, you may be knowing everything, right? But when you are going to face the panel, you won't be able to deliver. Okay, and that's how your scoreability will be low in the interview. So it is very much important that you prepare hard as you can and then go to the interview. I tell you, your performance will be much better. You will be able to deal with the stress in a better way. Okay, you will be answering the question comfortably, right? So that is why interview preparation is very essential. Okay, you have to do it very seriously. And whatever shortcomings will be there, maybe there is some problem in your communication skill, maybe there is some issue in your knowledge part, you have to correct these things in the coming days, right? Whatever can be done. So that's why you have to seriously prepare for the interview. Do not leave it that I will prepare in last 5 days. I will just read banking awareness and go to the exam, and then I will tell him everything and he is going to award me 75 plus marks. Okay, don't be overconfident. A better preparation will help you in getting better marks. Then this is a very important question. Should I join any course for interview preparation? If you ask for my view, I will say extremely no. Because what happens if you go to any interview classes nowadays, those courses are just for money making. You learn nothing. They just take very formal interview and all. You do not get proper feedback and all. So if you ask me, I will say no, you can manage on your own, right? But again, I will say you take your own decision. Okay, do not take any decision based on my recommendation. If you want to join any interview course, and if anyone is suggesting you, first take input from any previous selected student who had joined that particular coaching or course maybe. And if they say that it was actually beneficial, right, really beneficial, you should join it, then you go. Otherwise, in my view, you can prepare on your own. There is no need to join any course. You can do much better preparation by working on the plan that I'm going to give you, right? Okay, so I think I answered this question. Okay, and second thing, yes, let me tell you one thing. If you join any course for interview, right, try to get any physical center for that. Okay, the reason is when you will go to give mock interviews, right, it should be in person. I think it can be taken online, right, that is fine, but that is not exact simulation, right, of the actual interview. So better if you are planning to join, if some previously selected student is recommending you to go to this or that particular course or coaching, if you join that, then go for a physical center, not online course, right? That is my recommendation. Okay, first thing. And again, I will tell you that if you ask my view, it is absolutely no, not required, not necessary. You can prepare on your own. Coming to the second question then my English communication skills are very weak. Shall I join any English speaking course now? Absolutely no, right? English speaking, I will say, no, cannot be improved in some 1 month by taking any course, right? Those courses are highlighted very much, but the absolute result is not that as you think that it is going to change your entire communication skill. You will become very fluent in English, right? The only recommendation will be, when they are recruiting you as a bank PO, I think you should have English communication skill that you should be able to communicate your ideas, right? It's not about being very fluent in English. It's not about that you should be very great speaker. Okay, they're not looking for that, but at least you must be able to communicate your ideas, right? So suppose you are having problem in English speaking right now, I will recommend you that start speaking from today itself. And the best thing will be, just speak little bit slower. Do not try to be faster. Okay, when you try to be faster, there is possibility of you may mumble, you may not be able to frame a proper sentence maybe, and you may face difficulty. So those who are having very weak English communication skills, they should try this thing that you speak little bit slow, give a little bit gap in your words. Okay, you can take your time, speak little bit slow, so the fluency will be actually maintained, right? It will be actually maintained. So that way you can try. And second thing is that, what I have seen from my experience, that everywhere interview is not taken in English communication skills only, English language only, right? Even the interviewer start speaking in regional language. So when they start speaking in the regional language, it is very easy for you to pick that language only, right? If there, suppose you are from northern region and you are comfortable in Hindi, and you went to the interview and interviewer is asking hi ye baithiye, so basically he is communicating with you in Hindi, so it's better to answer in Hindi, right? You can use English sentence, English words in between. Okay, like financial inclusion, you can call it financial inclusion, but your communication will be in Hindi. There is no problem at all. So look for that opportunity, that if that opportunity is there, any member, if he using regional language, he or she is using regional language, you can just start using that language. There is no problem at all. Even there is a possibility that suppose you are not at all comfortable in English, even you cannot improve when you are actually sitting at home just 1 or 2 days before the interview, and you think that you cannot communicate in English. Okay, it is going to be very difficult for you. What you can do is that you can take permission of the interviewer to speak in your regional language. You can clearly mention, okay, that your English communication is little bit weak and you are working to improve on it, right? Just you can ask for the permission, right? And possibly they will definitely allow you to speak in the other language in which they also may be comfortable, right? So this is also one way, that if you cannot speak at all and before the interview you realize that you won't be able to communicate even your ideas, so that in that sense, you can ask them directly that, sir or ma'am, I'm not so comfortable in English speaking, I'm working on it, so can I use this or that language, right? And they will definitely allow you for that. Okay, Charu is saying my English is good, but how to improve confidence while speaking if someone fumble while speaking during interview due to stress? Charu, I'll come to that point. Everything will be done later. uh, Taran is asking, yes, mine is saying that mine was in Hindi last year. That happens actually. Usually they use regional language, right? So if they use regional language, pick that language and just in that language only try to give your interview. Okay, and any other question like Richa? I will take your question later. Okay, let me cover my points first. Aman is asking how many candidates are appearing for the interview. Aman, do not focus on that. The agenda of this class is to tell you how you have to go for the interview, right? That's it. Mahendra is asking about something about commerce. Mahendra is saying that he gave interview in 2014 and he is from commerce field. 90% question were asked from his field and he answered all but got 58 out of 100. Mahendra, I will even answer your question that why you must have got only 58. Aman, it's not about center basis. Aman, I think your questions, I will prefer to answer later, right? The question that you are asking is something which I think should not be there in this session. At least I will answer them later. You can write. Charu is asking, should interview be solely in English or can be bilingual, that in Hindi as well as in English? Do they cut marks for that if someone speaks in Hindi, or give extra marks to those communicating well in English? Charu, that doesn't happen, right? The most important thing in the interview is communicating your ideas properly. If they're answering a question and you are not able to answer that properly in English maybe, right? It's better to answer that in Hindi. But before that, you have to assure that the interviewer are comfortable in that particular language, right? That you are going to speak. So that is very important. Like suppose you went for an interview in North India and you start speaking in maybe some language which is maybe Tamil or Telugu or Kannada, they will not understand, right? So there will be a communication gap. That should not happen. You have to ensure that interviewer also knows that language. Maybe in the initial 1 minute, 2 minute, you will understand that. And then you can start with that language or ask for the permission and then just go for it. Anyways, okay, let me okay, I'm coming to the next phase now. I will take the next question. So what should be the correct interview preparation plan, right? So about the English, forget about that. Okay, it's about, I will be even talking about it in the later part also. That first thing is that it's not about a fluent English, it's about speaking slow so that you are able to communicate the ideas, right? That's it. And with little bit practice, I think you all can attain that thing, that you will be able to communicate in English. And if you are not able to do it, there is no problem. The other way is out, other way is definitely there. Okay, so what should be the correct interview preparation plan? I will divide your interview preparation plan in 3 stages, I must say. The first stage, I call it, is about you. About you means it includes everything. Your profile based question means it's all about you. That means if you come to me and I want to know about you, suppose I want to recruit you. So as an employee, is, basically suppose I'm looking for one employee for my organization, I will need certain quality in you, right? That I will need you to be confident. Okay, I will need someone who is having the required skill to carry out the job it offer, right? So it's about you. So first thing is that I think nobody knows better than you, right? So that's why this first section is about you. You have to find everything about you on a piece of paper, right? And this will include many things. Like the first question will be, maybe you have to prepare, tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. Okay. It may be your hobbies. It may be your strength. It may be your weakness, right? It may be about the city you belong. So your city, your state, and maybe your district also, right? So basically what is related with you, you have to know everything about it. For example, suppose you belong to Lucknow. So at least open the Wikipedia page of Lucknow and try to find out, just basic points about Lucknow, that what is it is famous for, right? Some part of economy, rough data of population, literacy, and everything. Who is chief minister, who is, you know, important, maybe MP for the Lucknow member of parliament and everything. So basically you have to know about you and everything related to you, your region, your state, your district, okay, and all other related question which can be framed from it. And I think if you just Google that out, you will find list of questions that can be based on you only, and you have to prepare each of them diligently. Why I'm saying this, you all think that I can easily speak, tell me about yourself, what is the problem in it, right? I am this, I did my graduation this, something like that, right? But you know what happens in the interview, this may be the first question posed to you. Okay, in banking interview, actually that is not so formal interviews, I will say. There is hardly 10-minute time for an interview. Okay, so sometimes it becomes very informal. You go there and they just start asking questions, right? But still you have to prepare. You have to prepare. Richard asking, there is need of resume? No, there is no need of resume, but yes, if you want, you can carry it with you. Okay, they will ask you the question based on the form that you filled, and they will be having a copy of it. From that only they will be asking you question. No, resume is not required. Okay, sir. So when I say about you, you have to, prepare all the question that is related to you. Okay, everything. So when you write, tell me about yourself, actually there will be a lot of fault in it. Okay, that should be corrected. Last year itself, I have been in, guidance. I was guiding many of my students who were preparing for interview. So my first question was that prepare your profile based questions, whatever question that you get from Google maybe, and you will find a list of questions that may be about you. Prepare that and write it down what actually you want to speak in the interview, and that too in a proper sentence. It's not like just you are writing key point. Write down in the form of sentence. Why I'm saying this, because if these questions comes in front of you during the interview, you should be properly prepared, right? Okay, so that you do not fumble at least in these questions. If you are prepared properly, okay, you will be able to include all the key points or key sentences that you actually framed, in this period, and it will actually give you a head start in the interview, right? Basically, you will not fumble easily. You will be answering these questions, right? So tell me about yourself is the first thing that you have to write. Okay, then obviously your hobbies. If there is no hobby, try to find it out. I think everyone has certain hobby, even you may not be knowing about it. Then yes, knowing little bit about those hobbies, that maybe if it is a game, then you should be knowing about the highlights of that particular game, maybe it's name of few players. If your height is reading, your hobby is reading, then at least the next question can be, what do you read? So you have to think critically that if I am going to answer this, what possible question an interviewer can ask. So basically what I will say that while doing preparation of this part, first part is you who is going to prepare a particular question. Then again you need to critically analyze that if I am the interviewer and this is the answer in front of me, what follow-up question I can ask, right? What follow-up question can I ask from that particular profile? And thereby what will happen, that from one question you will be getting multiple branches that can be the follow-up questions. So even from your profile, that is tell me about yourself, you can generate multiple follow-up question that can be asked from you, and then you have to prepare each and every question that is going to come in front of you. So basically you have to explore the possibilities. Okay, and once you explore the possibilities, you have to prepare an answer for all these things, right? Okay, now content about, tell me about yourself, what it should include. Okay, this part that you are asking, ideally it should definitely start with you. Okay, you will say that my name is this, okay, and I belong to this place. And if that place suppose is a particular city like Agra, so Agra is a very famous place, you can just directly say Agra, it will work. But if there is the place is not that well known, like if I come from Bahraich, I will mention that I belong to Bahraich district in Uttar Pradesh, right? Something like that. So he gets clear-cut indication that where do you belong, right? And then you include your education. Education should be included in the form of, first, chronological order. You start with high school, and second will be your intermediate marks, and then third will be your graduation. If you have done PG, you can mention it. So it will be that I did my high school, or I pursued, or I completed my high school from this board and scored this much mark. If your marks are good, okay, like you are scoring more than 60% marks, you just mention first division, okay, it will work, no problem. But if you are having very high marks like some 85%, 90%, just do mention the percentage, right? Because it is the time when you can create an impression on the interviewer. Okay, so if you are having a very good marks, right, that sounds good. Okay, then definitely mention that percentage mark. Like if it is 75% plus, in some boards it is called as honors, so you can mention it, right? Then intermediate, then graduation, right? You can skip even these two if you don't want to include it. You want to make your tell me about yourself shorter, you go directly with the graduation part. Okay, Dil Pritam, I will take your question, just let me carry on with this. Then once you are done with it, you should include your hobbies, strength and weaknesses, right? These three things must also come here. Okay, about your parents background and everything, I will recommend not to include it. Unnecessary, it will be lengthier. The focus is on you. Tell me about yourself. It is better to mention only about you, because what will happen that many a times when you start tell me about yourself, maybe interviewer will interrupt you somewhere in between. You may not be able to complete it. That's why it should be little bit short. Okay, so that if even if he interrupts you in between, Okay, you actually tell them the key points that you wanted to you. If anyone is asking about yourself, I tell you, you have the opportunity to make an impression, right? So you should not leave that. You have to grab it with both hands. And for that, you should make it little bit, impressive, right? So these are the things you must include, I guess, strength, weakness, and hobbies. Okay, then one more thing I would like that is my recommendation, that in tell me about yourself, you should include one more thing. That is, look, what is the job profile of a PO, right? There is a difference in PO job and clerk job. Little bit difference, I will tell you what is the difference. Okay. PO is basically, if you look, it is about a probationary officer post. More leadership qualities required in a PO. While in a clerk, I think more subordinate skill or teamwork is required in, clerk exam, right? So here, if you're going for the interview for PO exam, I will say that, you include this point, because the key skill they are looking for is someone who can lead. Obviously teamwork should be there, but obviously PO is a leader. Okay, the more leadership skill is required in probationary officer job, right? So I will say that in your tell me about yourself section, if you can include one line that I have good leadership skill, which dash dash dash, any example of it, right? If you can include in your tell me about yourself, that will be wonderful, I tell you, because that will actually create immediate trigger in their head, right or not? Work experience should definitely be added if you are having work experience certificate and you have mentioned while applying, right? You should definitely include it that you have worked over there. But yes, when you are mentioning your work experience, you should prepare the questions based on your work experience, the type of work, the organization, your role, your functions. Okay. Mahendra is saying, a follow-up question on leadership can be puzzle us. What do you mean by puzzle us? They may be asking you the example of leadership that you shown. So you should prepare for the related answer. That's what I'm saying. Some real life examples you have to think where you shown some leadership skills. Okay, and that can be the follow-up questions, right? Harshika, you can mention. Harshika is saying I am teaching as a personal tutor. So should I mention that? Yes, why not? You can mention it. Okay, you can mention it. Charu saying that she has not mentioned my work experience while filling the online application. Should I still tell them? Charu, first thing, ideally you should have mentioned that. If you were working, why didn't you mention it, right? So if you started working after filling the form, then there is no problem. You can take an OC and you can include it. Okay, you can tell them directly. But if you did not show your interview experience deliberately, then there may be a problem. I don't know. Okay. Okay, Charu, about this case you can talk to me later. Now many questions are coming. Just let me take one by one. I'm organized a sport meet. Can I mention it? Yes, properly, try to include it in the tell me about yourself, Sri Krishna Kant. And if you can send me your answer later, I will help you in correcting it. At least, I ask you all to write your tell me about yourself and send it to me. Okay, and I will definitely give you the feedback that where you are going wrong, for sure. 2-month internship experience, mention that. No, Sonali, internship experience should not be mentioned in tell me about yourself, right? If there can be follow-up question, then show it. Work experience, actually what I mean is actually, that gives them a positive vibes. Like if someone comes having little bit work experience, so basically that is a added thing, because you must be having certain experience from that organization. You actually know how to work in organization, how to work in a team, right? So that's why if you have I will say relevant work experience. Relevant, I mean that means you worked in a company for a certain period, then it should be mentioned. Okay. Otherwise, no, you can leave it. Home tuitions, it won't be that effective, Aman, right? But still you can mention it if you want. Or maybe you can wait for the follow-up question. If they're asking you for the gap period, you can mention that I was fully preparing for the bank PO exams and that's why I did not get time. Maybe I decided not to work actually, but I was tutoring students in the meantime. Okay, you can answer them. Richa is saying you have work experience of 3 months after college. Should I mention it? Richa, what I'll say, you can ask me this question later because I need to know the type of experience you have. So Pintu, you can ask me about these questions later. Okay. Okay. Anyways, whatever I, told you for the time being is about the highlights, what you should include in tell me about yourself. So all of you write your tell me about yourself. Do not worry if it is good or bad. Okay. Write in your own language. Do not just copy some statement from someone else. Tell me about yourself. It should be your own. Write it out and send it to me, please. Okay, I will then help you that what point you should remove, where you're going wrong, and what can be follow-up questions, right? Okay, so that is your homework. What is your homework? Write, tell me about yourself, and then send it to me. And yes, do one more thing, that critically analyze that what can be follow-up questions from your tell me about yourself. Just send me the list. I will tell you what more questions can be asked and what you should add or delete from tell me about yourself. This is the first step you are going to take for your interview preparation. I want to check that out. I will later tell you where to send that. No, Rohit, no need to mention that certification. Okay, I'll take all your questions later. Okay, let me go ahead then. Okay. Mail ID is ravi@apttrix.com. Apttrix contains double T, not double P, so do not make this mistake, right? Many people make that mistake. Okay, so let me finish it, and then later, I will take all your questions and answer them one by one. A graduation part I will come, Kaushik. Sagar, hello Sagar from Yamunanagar, Haryana. Okay. So the week 1 should be, devoted to about you and what I want all of you, right? That in this week, there are 2 weeks remaining in, this month of December, right? So in these 2 weeks, try to finish everything about you. Okay, that means your all profile based question. Okay, maybe it can be tell me about yourself, then maybe it can be why after engineering you did not opt for engineering job, why you are coming to bank PO, why bank PO, something like that. Whatever possible question are, Google it out and then try to write all the answers. So about you, everything must be covered because nobody knows better than you. Nobody knows you better than you, obviously, right? Your strength, weakness, everything, hobbies and everything, find it out. And week 1, I want you all to complete all those questions. Your profile based questions should be completed about your city, about your village, everything. It should be finished in 1 week. That target should be there. If you want to score well in the interview, you have to do it in 1 week. Okay, and 1 week is sufficient time. Devote proper time to it and write all the answers, correct it, take the corrections from me, then again improve the answers, and that is how you are going to complete this particular section. So 1 week devote to profile based question. How many of you want that I should provide you the profile based question, that what can be asked? Okay, all of you want. So okay, we'll provide you the list of questions which you need to prepare. Okay, but you all need to do the additions as well, right? Maybe some questions you think may be asked to you, and because that list I will provide you will be general questions, right? General question they will be, and there will be some more question coming up because of your profile. So that you have to think and you have to include in that list. But I'll try to provide you the main, the question that you need to prepare for your profile. So I expect you all to complete all those questions and take my help in that preparation. There is no problem in that. And that is free of cost. So don't worry, right? So once that is done in 1 week, okay, what I want you all to do in the next week, that is week 2, revising banking awareness. When it is about interview, it is actually, I must call it general awareness, okay? But what have been seen from the patterns of the interview, if you analyze interviews of many aspirants, the main focus is on banking awareness, right? Banking awareness questions, sometimes they are very common, okay? Many times they ask full form of abbreviation. Sometimes they ask what is net banking, what is NEFT, what is full form of NEFT, what is RTGS, what is the limit of RTGS, right? So these things comes in, this banking awareness part. And sometimes they ask, some main important technologies also. When I was giving the interview, they asked about Skype. Okay, what is Skype, right? So they asked what is app. Okay, so sometimes they will ask you very basic question to just test you that you are aware or not. So questions will be very general in nature, but still, if it is all about complete preparation, then I must say there is sufficient time to go with revising the banking awareness part. Okay, and I think you have prepared banking awareness for PO mains exam also, so it won't take that much time. And when you prepare for banking awareness, what I recommend you is that the definition should be ready. Okay, in my interview they asked me a question which was what is revenue, and do you know what happened? I knew what is revenue, but I had no clear-cut definition in my head. So what I did, I was doing this, I was trying to beat around the bush. Okay, I had understanding of revenue, but the definition of the revenue they were expecting in some one-line textbook definition, which I didn't know, right? So that thing you need to prepare, that when you see banking awareness terms, maybe they can ask you cash reserve ratio, they can ask you SLR, they can ask you anything, any certain definition. They can ask you the definition of a bank. Why not? What is inflation? What is deflation? So these type of questions can be there in the interview. So when they are going to ask you the question, maybe you have understanding, okay? Maybe you have understanding of those terms. But they are expert in that, right? They are sitting in front of you after having 25 to 30 years experience in a bank. So they are very much efficient in that. They are masters of that banking awareness at least, right? So when they are going to ask a question, basically they expect to the point definitions. Okay, so whenever you are going to prepare for the interview, I will say to maintain your own notes and try to write short definitions so that you can be to the point in the interview. They're asking you what is revenue, you should give to the point answer. What is bank? To the point answer. What is CRR, SLR? For that you have to work, right? You have to work. That a small mistake in the exam that you are trying to beat around the bush in the interview, it can create negative impression that your knowledge is hollow. Okay, Prakhar, I'll come to your question. I'll come to your Sachi Singla. Social networking profile can affect our score in interviews. That so who says that, Sachi? Sachi, if I create your fake profile, will your interview score go down because of that? No. So these are some rumors. Don't believe in them, right? It is about you in the interview and how you are going to perform in the interview, and that is the only way you can score more or less mark. Okay, nobody is snooping your Facebook profile, right? Why you want to join a bank? Aman, I'll come to that question. Please wait. That question has been answered in YouTube video. Watch that. Okay. Anyways, I'm enjoying this session. Right? So revise banking awareness in week 2, and I think you should complete in week 2. And then also you have to start reading newspaper. Maybe if you're not reading right now, start doing it from tomorrow with more focus on banking awareness news and then current affairs also. In the exam, sometimes they ask you basic current affairs question. Okay. Thanks, Saran, if you're enjoying the session. Basic current affairs, it can be like anything they can ask you. Okay. So you have to be not only reading banking awareness, but general awareness also you need to prepare. Okay. So start reading newspaper diligently. Okay, मन से पढ़िए बिल्कुल. Newspaper is very important, right? So when it comes to revising banking awareness, I will tell you the topic names again. I promise you, I'll tell you the topic name, what you need to prepare in banking awareness, and whatever the current happenings will be there, you have to keep adding in your knowledge base. But definition wise, I ask you all to prepare that. Then comes the banking operation. You all are going to work in a bank, right? So you should know about basic banking operation. Basic banking operation, you have to think about it, that if you go to a bank, what are the responsibilities of a PO, right? Or what are the basic services offered by a PO for any common man? Okay. In my interview, they asked me what is net banking and how can you transfer fund using net banking. So I explained them adding pays and all and everything, right? So you have to prepare for basic banking operation based question, that to check your basic knowledge, that you are applying for a PO job, so at least you must know what are the basic services provided by bank, and you should explain to them, right? Newspaper, you can read either Indian Express or you can read The Hindu, whatever you prefer. Why should I hire you? Harshika, I'll answer these questions. Okay. Current affairs of how much duration should be covered for interview. I think just start doing it right now, Charu. I think you must have done current affairs for your mains exam also, right? And current affairs actually is recent current affairs. Okay, recent means maximum you can go back up to start November, December, January. That's it, right? Usually the questions are very recent happenings and static questions, right? Okay, they ask abbreviations. They will ask about, maybe they can ask you what is payment bank. It has been in the news throughout the year. So payment bank can be a question. E-wallet, they can ask you about e-wallet, something like that, right? KYC and all. So these popular terms also are very much asked in the interview, right? Prakhar is saying, is there going to be GD and VAT? Prakhar, are you a serious interview aspirant? Okay. Yeah, demonetization. I think demonetization is a very highlighted topic. Okay, so when topics become over highlighted, okay, it is usually less asked. Okay, but maybe you should think about that. Demonetization. Do not, I tell you, do not say that demonetization is bad in the interview. Don't say that. Your answer should be balanced. Criticism of the government should be moderate. It should not be that you say that it is a waste, right? So you have to take a balanced view. Even if you want to criticize, then you may criticize that yes, the planning should have been better. Okay, because many people lost their jobs, and so it should be a diplomatic answer with favoring the move. Okay, favoring the move, that demonetization in the large, if we see at the macro level, it is a good thing. Yeah, static questions are definitely there. Okay, a static question will be definitely there, so you have to prepare them. They will ask suggest the ways. Yes, you have to be ready for that. Okay, anyways, let me go ahead. Yes, static banking awareness you have to prepare, Shri Krishnakant, right? That you have to prepare for sure. Okay, because if you are having time, I must say you should actually prepare. Okay, there is sufficient time to do that. Mohit is asking, when they ask, is there anything you want to ask? Mohit, usually I tell you these questions are asked in campus interviews, right? In IBPS interviews, sometimes when you go to the interview, you feel that was it interview, right? Sincerely, I tell you, because this is not so formal interview. They are in rush of taking so many interviews on the same day. Okay, so they hardly give a lot of attention to you, that they will be giving you some 20 minutes time, and they will be that much formal that they will ask you that is there anything you want to ask. Rarely it happens, right? So, but suppose if they're asking, you can something ask about demonetization itself, or you can ask anything about that, What are the promotion opportunities in my profile? Something like that you can ask. Okay. Okay. Aman, I think your questions are actually outside the scope of the session, right? So you can ask me after the session. You are more concerned with the conveyance fee. Sumdat is saying about banking awareness, all the practical procedure has to be known and prepared for truly like process of mobile banking UPI platform. Absolutely. Okay, the recent initiative, I think recently, today they have announced something like Lucky Grahak Yojana, right? Where they are going to give the wallet users who are doing cashless transactions some great prizes up to 1 crore rupees. So these new initiatives, which the government is taking, you have to take care for that. And whatever this, I think in the cashless process, whatever new schemes or any new wallet and everything has come, you have to prepare for that. And all the banking process, UPI is one of the important thing, I tell you. Okay. Anyway, just let me check. How many of you know the full form of IMPS? POS, exactly. POS is something which they may ask you, what is POS? Shashank is asking a question which I will take just little later. Okay. Immediate payment service, and somebody is saying immediate mobile payment system. One is saying immediate payment system. So that is the problem, I tell you. Sometimes you all think that you know, but that is not right. It is immediate payment service or system, right? So even if you know that this is going to be the full form, you may think that you are right, okay, but you may be wrong. That's why check it and you have to answer it correctly. Okay, POS is point of sale. Yes, you are all right. Okay, now let me move to the third part. Everything about you has been done, then banking awareness has been done. It's more about I'm giving a macro level planning, right? Then what you do when your 2 weeks are over, you have done some banking awareness, you are reading newspapers, you are done with your profile based question, you have to give mock interviews. The question is whom to give the mock interviews, because you at the first few minutes in the class you said not to do any coaching. Okay, so I will say that mock interviews should be, you can do it even in a group, right? If you have a friend circle maybe, right? In that friend circle, suppose any one of your friend who has been selected last year, I think everyone will be having such persons, right, who have been selected in the last year. Just ask them politely that please help me at least take one mock, right? So it's all about just giving mock. Not, I'm not saying to go to the coaching to give the mocks. Okay, you can give it even in your circle. Okay, maybe bari you can take interviews of each other one by one. You take my interview, I'll take your interview, something like that, give and take. So with this, what will happen when you give actual interview, mock interview, all your preparation will be tested over there. Okay, you may be very confident in speaking in the mirror, right? But when it comes to speaking in front of someone else, the things change. The things change. Deep is saying, can we give it to our parents? No, Deep. If they are having little bit experience, you can give it to them. Otherwise, parents are very much, I will say, concerned with the child. There is more emotional link, right? So it's better to give the interview to someone who can critically analyze you. Okay. But if they can take your interview, why not give them one interview? Doesn't matter. You will get some feedbacks. Okay, Richa is saying, I don't have any such friend. What to do then? Okay, okay, Richa, I'll tell you what to do then. Some parents, get very angry. They can even slap you while the interview, right? So that is not the case when you give interview to any of your friends. Okay, so might be, if you cannot arrange anyone whom you can give one-to-one interview, try to do that. I think you will, if you will search, you will find it out. Okay, at least with this offer that if you take my interview, I'll take your interview. This will work. And if it doesn't work, if someone is distant, you can give him a Skype interview. Okay, that will also work. Okay, find any friend who is working in a bank and just call him and say some hi, hello. Do not directly say that I have called you for the interview. Otherwise, people think, when there is a work, he has called me, right? Just call them once, take his, just ask his whereabouts. Then after one day, call him again, right? And say, yeah, I need a help. Please take my one mock interview, right? That will work. Okay, so if you request, possibly they will accept and they will take your interview and they'll provide the feedback. What I expect all of you that, if you start doing this exercise from first week of January, okay, you give one mock interview, and after giving one mock interview, maybe, you will find actually where your preparation is. Okay, you may be finding you are not confident. Okay, you are quite a lot, you are shaking your legs, right? You are not sitting in the right posture and all. These things will happen when you go to actual interview, right? So that is why, it is very important that when you give one interview and you find your mistakes, correct them, and then again proceed further. The benefit of, maybe I will say, online interviews will be you can record it. Okay, you can check everything. Okay, that how was your communication skill. Okay, did you answer to the point or not? So that critical analysis will help you in overcoming the mistakes, right? And what I expect all of you that, if possible, do this exercise at least for 5 times. Okay, that means if you can give 5 such interviews, those having rich group, I tell you, okay, they can definitely find 5 people and they can give the interview 5 times. You can even give the interview to the same person twice, doesn't matter. So even if you can get 3 persons who can take your interview, 3 into 2 will be 6. 6 times interview you will be giving in the month of January, right? And possibly that will help you out in figuring out your mistakes, and then you can even improve on them, right? Okay, fine. So those who are not having any circle or what, okay, let me tell you one thing. Okay, what I'm going to do right now, okay, let me plan. I will create a separate group for interview preparation, right? And that will be a platform where you will get some people to interact with, and try to make friends and just try to give the interviews over there. And those who cannot get anyone, right, you can't do anything, you can't find anyone, you can ask me, right? I will find something for you. Okay, so I will say best try that you can give interview to others in your friend circle, and if not, you can contact me. Okay, so we'll create one Facebook group. Yes, not WhatsApp group, not Telegram group, Facebook group, and we'll provide the link on my Facebook page, and there you can join, and in that group it will be about only interview preparation, and there you collaborate, you discuss among yourselves, right? Fine, I will be there to moderate it. Okay, and I think I'll take Taran your help for that. Okay, and okay, so finally, I'll take your question. Why I have not taken much questions here from my side. First, I want you all to see that YouTube video. It contains many important aspect of interview, so there was no purpose in repeating it here in the class. I think I cleared the mindset a little bit, and then I will take your question now, right? I'll take your question now, and maybe once you watch that video and I find that you are interested, I will take another session, right? So maybe that will be somewhere where you will be coming up with some of your answers ready, and we can analyze that I may take a sample that, okay, this is a problem in this particular answer, you have to correct it, right? So that will be taken later when you watch that YouTube video, so do watch that. Okay, so now I'm coming one by one, and just post your questions, and let me take it. So first question is by Vishwa Raju Rajesh. Just listen that question, what he's saying. Do they ask about our BTech project work? Do they ask about our BTech project? Okay, same question 4 times. I must say, Vasaraju, if you can remember just the name of the project, it is good, right? They may ask you what is the name of the project. Usually the possibility of such questions is little lesser, but still If that is coming in your head, I think you can just read the summary of the project if you have done, right? Just name and summary, one line description, that's it. There is no need to go into that deeper. That look, understand one thing, your interview is going to last for roughly 10 minutes and they're not going to waste their time in your BTech days, what you did in the project, right? So possibility of these questions are very low, I tell you. Basically, interview is about some questions on your profile, some questions on banking awareness, general awareness, some questions from your graduation stream if that happens to be commerce. But if it happens to mechanical engineering, electronics engineering and all, there can be basic questions. Okay, basic questions can be like maybe that what is electronics, right? And any recent happening in the electronic field. That's it. Okay, they're not going to go deeper into your engineering and they are going to ask you about electronic signals and systems. Okay, that won't happen, right? Okay, then coming to the next question. Please, those who posted questions earlier, you can post it now once again. How to kill anxiety? It makes me fumble. Richa, watch the YouTube video that is there. You know, first understand, I always say everyone, understand one thing. I am going to relate it, but yes, still, that is relevant here. Suppose I am a salesman. I want to sell a particular product and I am going to meet some people and I go there and I'm not confident. I'm not able to tell about the product. You're not the product. Do not take it that way, right? But still, you know, I'm just saying that you went to sell a TV to someone and you were not able to tell even the everything about that TV and you are not confident. Why they are going to buy that TV? Never, right? So first thing, you know, what is most important, that you should not worry. The reason is that your interview is not broadcasted live. Nobody is seeing what you are doing in the interview. Nobody is making or mocking you, right? It is not broadcasted anywhere. It is about some unknown people sitting in front of you and possibly you are not going to meet them again. So why you are worrying? They are there to know about you. Just go and tell them confidently. I think the problem is there when you are on the stage and maybe some known people are there and you may be thinking that, oh, you know, I may be mocked. But when you are there in the interview, some 5 unknown people are sitting in front of you. Even you don't know them, neither they don't know you, right? And possibly after that interview, you are not going to meet them again. So why to worry? You have to tell the best about you, right? You have to tell who actually you are. And I think you should not fumble, you should not, little bit anxiety is there if you're going to face for the interview, that is fine. But it should not actually hamper your performance, right? If you're not able to talk to them properly, if you're not able to answer, that is ultimately is going to worsen your chances, right or not? So you have to be confident and there is no reason of fear. They will not bite you in the interview, right? They will just ask some question that you have to answer. Do not worry. Okay, Vishwant, you can ask me about that later. You know, ideally, you know, they have your form. At the time of interview, you will have verification, document verification, then you will be going for the interview. The form you already filled while applying for IBPS PO exam, basically the bank preference and everything, from that only they will be asking the question. Second thing is that the preference of the banks that you have filled. Okay, you must know that preference. Okay, that what is the first choice. They asked me in the interview that what is your first choice that you filled. And I actually did not remember. Okay, so that was a very bad start. So that's why you have to remember what is your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, at least 5 choices you have to remember, right? And they may ask you what is the reason of selecting this particular bank. So have your own answer ready for that, right? That can be a question. Okay. Gap of 2 years is not an issue, Shrikant. There were many people coming with the gaps after graduation. You need not to worry about that. Just go there, tell them frankly what you were doing in these 2 years. No need to frame any story. No need to tell them a lie that I was working and something like that. If you're not working, clearly tell them that I decided that I'm going to prepare for the banking exams and I'm doing it. If you gave any exam previously where you actually got some results, mention that. Okay, that I gave this exam, I could not clear. If you cleared even the prelims stage, mention it, right? But tell them frankly that you have a gap of 2 years. That is nothing to worry about. That you decided to work in a banking and you were preparing for it. No harm in it. Be honest. Question related to BTech subject or technical questions. Charu, I'm just you know, I'll tell you one analogy. Okay, let's think about the interviewer who has been graduated some maybe 30 years ago, right, who is going to take your interview? 30 years ago he is graduated, and the possibility of him being from that particular field from where you did your graduation is very remote, very less. Even if he's supposed to be that person, in 30 years, how much will he remember? He must have forgotten so many things. So understand the job profile also. The profile is not for any, engineer. They're not looking for any engineer actually, right? They're basically looking for someone who can, work as a bank PO. So they're not going to dig deeper into your electronics too much, right? They can ask you the basic questions if he happens to be from your field, or they may be just asking you basic definition. If you're coming from electronics background, they may ask you what is diode, right? So you have to prepare very basic questions. It is not about spending too much time on that. It's better to focus more on banking awareness. Even if you do not remember anything, honestly tell them that, sir, I've forgotten, it's been so many years now, right? How your mechanical engineering helps in PO job? How to answer this? Raju, I think the answer should be very general. It's not about mechanical engineering. Tell them that actually during engineering days I learned this. I learned how to work in a team. How, I worked in a project, and take some real examples that you had some leadership skills and try to show them that I've learned these things during my engineering. So it's not about any direct advantage of mechanical engineering or what. You can give a very general answer for that, right? Yeah, Aman, you can take permission from them, and you can, if interviewer is using Hindi, you can go with a mix of English and Hindi. Doesn't matter, right? But if he's not using Hindi, you can take permission and then start speaking Hindi. Sonali is saying, I don't remember how I filled banking preference. Will it be asked? How do banks get allotted? Will anything be asked about such order preference? Sonali, first thing is that whatever form you filled, the link will be activated once again when interview call letter will be issued. So you can download that form once again, and you can see what preference actually you filled, right? So that is not a concern. You can download it. Ashwini, you are saying I'm a teacher in Bihar government since 2014. Should I mention it? Please reply. Ashwini, did you mention it while applying the form? Did you mention it while applying for the PO exam? If you mention it, definitely mention it. BA honors in English literature. What sort of question can I expect from my education background? Okay, Shom, I don't think you should worry too much, right? If you did, you must be knowing what actually you studied, okay? They're not going to test you on English literature, right? They may be asking you about what literature you read in those many years, okay? So that's what is sufficient, okay? They're not going to dig deeper into that. Don't worry about that. They may be asking you that why you chose English literature. So the very general question you can say, I followed the crowd, okay? Someone recommended me and I joined. Okay, because what happens in our country, right, after 12th, you rarely we take our own decision. We follow the crowd. If people are going for the engineering, so we also go for the engineering, right? So even if these questions come in front of you that why banking after engineering, okay, this can be one of the reasons, right? That after 12th, I followed the crowd and I went in the engineering, okay, and I found that I was not interested that much in that field. So I explored other career option and I found banking to be very attractive, okay? It offers great job profile, job security, decent salary, social status, and all and all and all, and that's why I decided to prepare for the banking exams. It's very simple answer. First interview, feeling nervous. I need answer for two questions. First one is why you selected banking after BTech. I just answered, Naresh. And the second one is while telling our weakness, which is best to say, because everyone says I can't go to bed until I finish my work. Naresh, you watch my YouTube video, you will get the answer. Okay, it has been covered over there. Why joining bank after doing BTech IT? Why can't you join software? Shrikant, again I'm saying you, whenever they are going to ask you why bank PO, after this you have to show your interest, why you want to join it. It's not about that I could not work in IT, I did not find a job, that's why I'm coming here. Okay, that should not be the reason, but rather tell some good features of the banking profiles. Okay, stable job profile. Okay, right, you can talk about the recession period, what happened in 2008, right? So stability is not there, so you can tell them that I feel very secure here, it's a government job, So job is secured and decent salary. Nowadays banks provide a decent salary at par with the software engineers, right? So don't worry. And they are very much, they are having knowledge. 60% of the aspirants which actually get selected, they are BTech or MBS. Okay, so don't worry, they know why you are coming over there. Okay, but if they ask you, it should be very simple and plain answer. 2012 pass out, cleared means 14, 15, but could not make it to the final list. So what can be the answer for the same? Like what I'm doing for the last 4 years. 1 year I took training in PHP and did freelancing for a few months. After that I started giving banking and other exams. Please help me the answer for same. So it's very simple answer you have to give. Okay, that you started preparing for the banking exams after 2012, and then you mentioned the result also, that I cleared means in 14, 15, but I could not get selected, and that's why I'm here. And you also mentioned, the profile, right? That the banking profile suits you. You are interested in that profile due to this and that reasons, and that is sufficient, right? Provide us with solution based question. That is very common interview. Like if this situation arises, how are you going to respond? Somdatta, you are offline, so I'm moving to the next question. I've never prepared an interview before, so I don't know how will I perform there, though I am confident about my preparation. Any way to give mock interview? He has left, so I'm going ahead. Prakhar is saying in a PO interview, what actually they seek in a candidate, what should be the way we present ourselves, what they really want from us. In a PO interview, what actually they seek in the candidate, what should be the way we represent. Okay. Prakhar, first thing I'll tell you that especially, for PO profile, obviously they want someone who, the first thing is that, you should have to show in the interview that you really need this job. That means you are highly interested in that job, right? There are some conflicting profiles, sometimes if somebody is coming from some other government job, so what happens that this create a contradiction. Okay, they may think why you are coming into this interview, right? When you were already working somewhere as having a government job, so why you are coming to this job? So there are some conflicts created, and they get a doubt that this candidate may not be uh, you know either he is not going to join the bank, or he may leave it after some days. Okay, so when they get such kind of feeling, they may not prefer you that much, they may award you less marks. So that's why you have to show the curiosity, the need for this job, and you are highly interested for this job. Okay, that is the one thing you have to focus on, right? So when if any such question is coming in front of you, that why not this, why this, you have to show that this is the profile where you want to work, right? Do not mention that after going to the bank, I'll prepare for SSC CGL exam, and when I'll crack that SSC, I will leave my bank job. Don't do that, right? You have to show yourself that you are going to work for the bank throughout the life, something like that. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, you have to show that need, that there are so many aspirants like you, right? So that need should be there. That need should be there. Okay, fine. Mechanical done. How to prove that we are better than any candidate from technical background is engineering. It has nothing to do with engineering or anything, Rajbala. Okay, the profile where you are working, okay, you just tell them you are very much confident that you will be able to carry out the work. Okay, and there is no problem at all. So coming to some last question. So I provide certain situation based questions and our response to it. So I will look about it later. Okay, BOB you cleared, and what to answer if they ask why didn't I join it? Should I mention clearing it? Yeah, you mentioned it, Sonali, if you cleared that, and I think you are the best person to know why you did not join Bank of Baroda, right? You will be having reasons. Give that reason. Why public bank, not private bank? Obviously, job security, right? Job security is very much important. Take example of Lehman Brothers 2008 subprime crisis. Story over. Are you always ready for transfer, Aman? Yes. Say yes, yes, I am ready for transfer. If one had dropped out engineering and started BBA and thereby have a gap of 1 year between 12th and graduation, what should be the answer to such? Mohit, just plain words. You joined engineering, you did not find it good. You could not develop your interest there, you left that engineering, you came to BBA and started doing that. That's it. Be straightforward. There is no problem in giving straight answers. Hello Shashank, I worked for 1 year mechanical engineering. Okay, why did you left for banking? Obviously one thing is job security, and then second thing is that you were not so much interested in that mechanical profile. You wanted to work for a bank. Banking profile is, very much promising and all and all and all. Okay, so Charu, even if you started giving bank exams right now, right, you can mention it that you were giving it. Who's going to verify? Right. I mean, what I must say that even if you're giving any gate exams or whatever, right, first, there is no problem in mentioning even that why you were appearing in the exam. Okay, there are some, if you go to the engineering student nowadays, okay, what everyone doesn't even know about banking and SSC exams, right? So slowly and slowly they gain knowledge and they start preparing for this exam. There have been many students in the same way, prepared for gate, prepared for maybe some government jobs, and later they've switched into the banking industry, right? So you can tell them that, initially you were preparing for some other exams, then later on you discovered this to be a very promising field and I was much interested in that, so I switched here. There's no harm in it. There's no harm in it. Okay, fine. Any other questions? Charu, usually they will not offer you snacks, but if they offer, do not grab it with both hands. Just take a small piece, that's it, right? But do not say, I will not take it. Okay. Anyways, just let me, some more questions are coming. Bond period in Bank of Baroda, justifiable reason for not joining. No, don't say that, Sonali, when bond is there in your IBPS, I think, right? You can later talk to me about it. When they ask according to you what will be your mains score, then what would be the strategy to answer the same if one hadn't counted the exact score? Less likely this question will be asked, but you say that you did well, you don't know the score, but you are confident that you will get decent score. That should be the diplomatic answer. I have clerk exam on January 1st. Can it start preparation from 2nd January? Will that be any problem? There will be no problem, Rajesh, but at least I will say devote some time to the interview also. Divide in a way that, do not leave it after clerk exam. I'll start it. You may give it lesser time, right? But start it right now. So I say I was preparing for banks from 12 to 16. No, Shashank, you can say in general that you were preparing for, other government exams also, but during that period only you discovered this to be a very promising field and you switched it to it, right? No problem, no harm in it. After this, should I prepare for RBI grade B? That is a different question, Richard. Definitely. RBI grade B profile is a much better profile. Okay, but don't mention about this in the interview, right? Ashwini, I missed your question. Can you post it once again? Charu, you are posting some question. One of the friend was asked. Okay. Okay. Practical banking experience is definitely have an edge, obviously, right? If you're having experience of that organization, working in a bank, it does help you in the interview, right? But get ready for the questions. And I think you all, if you are working in a bank, you must be knowing everything about what you are doing, right? So that is definitely helpful. It is having an extra edge, obviously. Positive vibes in the interviewer's mind. Why you are not joining your family business? Someone not interested? Okay, simple reason that you are not interested. Okay, and then excellent guidance. Okay, bond period I have to quit now. Okay. Mohit is saying if one had dropped to prepare for CAT in the meanwhile cleared IBPS, should this be said when they asked why had you dropped? Mohit, I will take that question later, right? Okay, actually I think you must not mention about CAT in that period. It's better to talk about IBPS only, right? Civil engineering will help in, if they ask me how my graduate degree will help in banking sector. There are some civil work that may be given to a bank manager, right? Due to some maintenance of the building and all. So any knowledge is not a waste knowledge, right? It can be used somewhere else. But if you're not able to frame a correct answer that have direct relation with the civil engineer, right? You can just give general answer, I tell you, okay, that whatever you learned, the teamwork and all personality grooming that happened over there, that is ultimately going to help over there. Exposure you got during engineering. Shashank, do not mention about IAS exam, right? No need to mention it, otherwise, there will be flurry of questions and you will be a candidate which is not reliable. Okay, because you clear IAS, you leave. That is a fact, anyone will leave, right? But still, no, not to mention, keep your profile low in the exam. Advantage of qualifying for an interview in the first attempt. Sachi, obviously, if you're cracking in the first attempt, that's wonderful, right? That's wonderful. Shashank, you can mention it, but still if you are still going to appear in that exam, okay, that may create a conflict, right? That may create a conflict. If you prepared and you left the preparation and now you decided to go for the bank, that is a different story. You can mention it, but otherwise, it will be a conflict, okay, that possibly you will clear and you will leave. SD Vexi Bank 2-month internship. Yeah, that's good. If they ask, you can tell them. Why not higher studies in form of field, or why not start businesses? I have a license. Aricha, the main thing is about the interest in the profile. I think you are the person, why you are not going into the pharma field, right or not? There may be some reason, that's why you left your pharma line and you came to the banking sector. Mention that reason. Straightforward, clear and crisp, no worries. Sources of your preparation, okay, if you did coaching, you can mention it, no problem. Self-study, you can tell self-study. Maths graduate, what type of possible question they may ask Aswani? Maths graduate, until he is maths graduate, he is not going to ask you any other question which you will find difficult, right? Any book like How to Crack? No need of any book for the interview, right? You can prepare the way I'm guiding you. And should I tell about company secretariat finals I am in? Yeah, if they ask you about any other results, Harshika, you can mention that. You can mention that. Okay. Other results if they ask, you can mention it. No problem. Last question, Richa. What is your last question? Okay, I think you got the answer. If he asks me, you took 4 years. Sashank, there will be definitely some reasons that why you took 4 years, right? And that can be, I actually told me that you cleared mains twice, right? So that is something which you were trying, but there are certain days which are not so good. Okay, you could not clear it. So there is no harm in it. It also shows your dedication towards this exam, right? That you are actually a true inspiration for other aspirants, that you have been working really hard without getting deviated year and year to get selected into this exam. So that is not something negative, right? Richa Pardeshi, you wrote something online. I'm not getting that. I wanted to mention my work experience, but I was showing error again. Charu, you can discuss about your case later. Yes, Ashang, you can prepare an answer for that. Okay, that 4 years you are telling. You can prepare an answer, send it to me. I will analyze and suggest you the improvements, right? Bond period in Bank of Baroda, justifiable reason. I think no, you should not mention about the bond period. The bond is there in IBPS also. Sri Ram Transport Finance, but I did not join it. Posting Chennai, how to justify it? Pawan, I think you did not mention it. Selection, you did not mention it. So there is no reason to tell them. Okay. I'm not prepared for any follow-up question. Prepare it, Harshika. Prepare the follow-up questions. Critically analyze your answers as an interviewer and frame questions which may be even difficult. And write the answer. Prepare for it. Bond period in Bangalore. Okay, the done. Where you want to see yourself after 5 years or 10 years. Just look at the structure of the bank. Okay, that what is the promotion policies and everything, and find out a place where you want to be. That should be the best place. Yeah, interview is supposed to start in February, so you have enough time for that. And just get the right mindset. Okay, about the dress code, Richa, I have talked in that YouTube video. You watch that video, you will find that. Okay, you'll find that. Okay, and what you all have to do. Mohit is asking. Mohit, I have talked about a dressing in YouTube video. Just look at it. It has been covered. It has been covered. Okay. Center-wise selection doesn't take place, Aman sir. What happens is, this is an all India exam. Your interview marks will be awarded to you, then merit will be made based on your mains score plus interview score taken in 4:1 weights. Your final merit will be made. It's not about that they have to select these many people from Lucknow and all. It doesn't happen. Did you write SBI PO this year? Will you write next year? If you get next year, will you leave IBPS PO? You say no, I will not. I'm not going to appear in SBI PO exam, right? Because I'm happy. Okay, I'm happy with the profile. The reason you can mention that your joining will come earlier, right? If you get selected in IBPS PO exam, you will be getting joining somewhere in the month of maybe June, right? So if you get that joining, you say that I will get enough experience, and salary and perks wise there is not so much difference, and all the organization are good organization, and you will grow within the organization, right? So mention. Aman, what do you mean by if everyone is good? What do you mean by everyone is good? Total marks will be there and the cutoff will be there. Those who are getting lesser than cutoff will be left out. It's not about from only one center in a state. It is not having any cutoff numbers from every state how much they need to select. Okay, Richa, you're saying how to develop confidence. I'm less talkative and my communication skills not so effective. Richa, I think you can talk good on one-to-one. I have seen many people, when they talk to me on phone and they sound very good, right? And they say, I get, little bit nervous in the interview and my communication skills is not good. So that is not the case. Might be you are having fear of speaking in public. I think if you talk to your friends, you will be very much confident, right or not? Because there is no fear in the head. So that fear is something which you must park at the bay, okay? Because I'm again telling you that when you go to the interview, those people doesn't know you, neither it is broadcasted live, neither anyone will get the recording of that interview. Nobody knows what you did in the interview, so be confident. There are some unknown people in front of them. You have to speak with confidence. No, Mohit, there is no need to have proper knowledge of all the subject of graduation. Just read as minimum as possible. Only basic definition, basics. Do not devote more than 20 hours on graduation subjects. Even 20 hours is much more. Casually you can tell that I have forgotten everything. Okay, it's been long. What is the safe score in what, Kaushik? In interview or in written? Proper knowledge of also, my weakness is casual approach. You can talk to me about it, Aman, later in written marks, Kaushik. Look, Kaushik, I must say that if you don't know about your written score, I think thinking about that is regressive step. Okay, you have to take progressive step as being positive and give the interview. Do not think about that, right? Nobody can tell you your score. Nobody can tell you that. So even it's about, I tell you, what mind does, that you don't have the score, so you want to give yourself comfort. Okay, that if I will score 70 plus, I am safe. If I score 71, even if I tell you that 70 plus is safe, then also your mind will create different situation where you may be thinking that might be I score less than 70, right? So it's a regressive step. Do not think in that direction. Okay, there will be no result. Be progressive and think forward. You have one step, that is interview, that you have to prepare in it and you give your best. Do we need to have knowledge of all the governors of RBI till date? No, 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 no. Even the one sitting in front of you may not be knowing all the governors, right? First, last, second last, that is sufficient, right? Maybe you should know the period of that governor tenure actually. Okay, but first, last, second last, that's it, sir. Okay, if I mention I study online, will it create a negative impact? Why, Suricha? I'm doing an entire online business, right? It's a very promising field. And if you're studying online, I think that is the present day. Many people are studying online, right? So there is no harm in it. Dressing smartly, Pawan, I don't think that, if you smart should not be over smart. You be decent during the interview, right? Okay, it's not about that. Try to groom yourself to the best, in the best way. That doesn't mean you do over makeup and the gel in the hairs and all. Okay, you should be very simple, and it's basically office formals, and should look decent, right? I tell you, when you go to the interview, right? When you go to the interview, you have to be someone who should look good, right? Who should look good. It doesn't mean that you just should have massage and all. Okay, that is not required. Save your money. Perfume, Richa, I think, do not use any strong perfume. Okay, that may distract the interviewer. I think it is a very valid question. Okay, so if you can avoid, that is also good. If you want to use it, just it should be in a way that it should not disturb others, right? CEO of different banks, yet you must remember. Maybe at least at your top 5 banks, their MDs you must remember. MSc Physics, what should they ask if they ask you why you want to go in the banking field? Pinky, obviously one thing is that you should mention the benefits of banking. Okay, when you talk about that you find this field interesting, I want to go there, right? Clean shaved, yeah, you should go clean shaved. Why not? That is good. Ashwini, I missed your question. I'm sorry, I'm getting so many questions. I'm missing many actually. Let me go back and try to find out where your question is. Ashwini, yes. Bihar government. I told you about that you should mention it. You should mention it. But I'm asking you, did you mention while filling the form? Okay, Shrikant, you want me to take more sessions? Thank you. We'll try to take more. Okay, Ashwini, I'm waiting for your answer so that I can answer you. So many hand raised. What kind of wristwatch? Very general, Richa, you can wear the wristwatch. Whatever you have, doesn't matter. Okay. Ashwini, you have mentioned, but I forgot. Can you paste it once again? Harshika, can you post your question once again? One-to-one mock interviews. Okay. Mohit, you want me to take your interview? Oh my God. Okay. Even I want to take your interview, but there are some time constraints, but still, just try to find your group. If you do not find it, let me know, right? How to show management skill. Harshika, management skill, it's basically, it can be only in the form of some examples, right? So when you talk about management skill, it covers, it's a very broad dimension, the management skill, right? So just you can mention about any management skill that you have shown during your college, maybe during the projects, maybe during any other event, or maybe if you organize any event, right? So there you can take it as an example and you can tell them if they ask you, right? How are you different from others, Harshika? Okay, if this question comes, basically, there can be very straightforward answer that you can say that I have, you know, ability of leading people and working in a team. I can motivate others and all. Okay, and These things you can mention, because there cannot be any specific skill that you can show. You have to talk more about the skill which is required for that kind of profile. So you can say about that. Amazing, please show your face. Okay, I mean the webcam is not attached right now, so I cannot take your request. Maybe in the next I can show my face. Friends, you're saying I have less friends, so it's my weakness. You can frame it in a positive way, Richa. Okay, maybe you can say that you socialize less, or you do not trust people, blindly. That's why you have less friends. You can say that, but you should mention that I'm working on it, and I'm trying to socialize with others, and you can say it is just my fear. I'm finding people good, something like that. So you can frame it in a better way, right? That can be one weakness, no problem. Ashwini, they will definitely ask you that if you're a teacher in a Bihar government, why do you want to leave that? Because they can be very promising questions, because what is the problem of education system? You all know that the quality teachers are lacking, right? They are looking for better profiles and they are leaving their jobs. They can ask you this, that why you are leaving that particular profile. Okay, so you frame your answer and send it to me, Ashwini. I'll help you out. Jitin is saying, wow, how to reply a question on that? I have no idea. So you can say, sir, I don't know, politely. There is no problem. Interview is not about answering all the questions. Okay, interview is all about, even if you don't know, just accept it. They will move on to the next question. There's no problem in that. So if you don't know any answer, do not try to beat around the bush and just make them disturbed. Okay, it's better to just ask no. It's better to say no. Okay, so I'll go to the first page itself. Okay, some people are who joined late, they may not be having these links. So those who joined late, actually, first there's the YouTube channel on which you have to find this video. I will again post in the comments. And this is the interview session I took live 2 years ago. It is quite relevant. It covers many aspects of interview which are usually you may not have ideas, so you can go with it. And I will plan one more session once you watch this video. Maybe in the next week I can take one more session, right? And please just watch the video, and then any follow-up question that is there, you can send it to me, and work on the plan that I have discussed. It is very important, right? And I'm posting in the comments. Just wait, please. You can follow this link for the video I'm talking about. So Stanjil is saying, I attempted too many questions and I'm sure that my marks won't be good. Will the number of attempts affect the interview? Stanjil, I must say no. Interview is a separate exam, right? So you should not worry about that how much negatives you did and all. You have got the opportunity to sit in the interview, go into the interview. These are just, fear of the mind, I tell you. This is just fear, right? Getting or not? So you can just, you should focus only on the interview. Do not be distracted. This is the time where many people get distracted. You keep on thinking that what are my marks? I attempted more. Maybe there are so many negatives. Maybe my marks will be 52.5 only. But how does it matter, right? It is a regressive thinking. Don't have that. Be progressive. Think positively, and because there is no control in your mains mark now. Do you have any control? I think no, right? Can you know your marks before interview is conducted? No. It is in the hands of IBPS only. They will declare it later. So your focus should be only on the interview, and you should give your best. You have to give your best so that you can get best marks in the interview. Okay. So we'll take any last question if that is coming to me, and then I'll close the session. Aman, you can ask me about this later. Your majority of the questions were out of the range, right? Are you giving interview or not? Aman, you came here for fun. Okay, Mohit, the number, don't take my number. I rarely pick up the calls. You can interact me through Facebook because that will allow me to answer as per my convenience, right? Okay, Aswini, you can mention the reason, but yes, do send me your complete answer. I will revisit and let you know. Jiten saying what will be the answer to why you're not able to clear last time. Jiten, you can mention your weakness in some of the section, or you ignored some of the section, or maybe you could not manage exam properly, right? So whatever is the reason, you can mention it. There is no problem in that. Look, interview is not about, I tell you, Jiten, the best answers. Okay, you should be honest at some stage. There is no problem in that, right? So whatever be the reason, you can mention it over there. Where do we post homework assigned? You can mail me. I mentioned the email. Okay, that was ravi@apttrix.com, or you can even directly post on the Facebook. Message me on the Facebook. Next class, mind, I need to decide, but possibly I would love to take in the next week. I'm very happy with the participation. You all have been great crowd. Not crowd actually, great students. Okay. If you have time, yes, I'll definitely like to interact with you all once again. Not mentioned in the form, Harshika. Okay, do not mention about, they won't ask you about that, right? If you forget to mention, leave that. What to answer if they ask about my weakness? So there is no negative effect. Pinky, just what the YouTube videos mentioned over there. Main reason is the less salary. Anshuti, you can clearly mention it. There is no problem in that. Okay. But if you send me your answer, I'll help you out. We'll make it much better. Mohit G, there are so many contacts. Using this, I interact with the students. This is the Facebook profile, Facebook page, and Twitter. I'm not giving you personal mobile number because if you will call me, I won't be able to pick up the call. So that is not having any benefit. And here, if you post your message, I will definitely reply. Right. So it's better to use this. Charu, not necessary to include it in your introduction. Weakness. Okay. Do not mention it. If you are thinking that if you mention it, you may have some follow-up question which you cannot answer, you can leave it. But at least prepare it separately. Okay. If that question comes, you have to be prepared for that. But I tell you, normally, if I talk about IBPS PO interview, it is not that formal. 10 minutes time is given to you. As you enter in the room, they will start throwing questions, banking awareness, this that, first some profile based question and banking awareness. And if you're from commerce background, there may be question based on your profile as well. That means graduation subjects as well. And then interview will be just quickly over, right? So it is not that much formal. Maybe you are not asked so many questions. Why bank PO? Why, tell me about yourself? But you have to prepare everything. Your preparation should be perfect, so that if they pose any question in front of you, okay, you should be prepared enough to tackle every question. Mahendra, if he's in a bank and he is saying you to go through some 100 questions, go through that, because their background is commerce. So there definitely they can ask you more questions. But if that happened last year with you, that they asked 90% questions from the commerce, right? You should actually prepare, Mahendra. Okay, because it has happened to you with you once and you got 58, you were saying. So you can definitely increase it this year. You can be 70 plus, why not? You have interview experience and you have better idea how actual interview is conducted. So with more confidence, you can just gain more marks, right? And 58 is not a bad mark in interview, Mahendra. Okay, it's not a bad mark. It's I must say it is above average, right? You can improve it. You can make it best this year. Okay, so we'll say you all good night, and thank you all for being in this session and bearing with me. If I bore you, I'm sorry. And I hope you all enjoyed. Even I enjoyed a lot. And We'll plan some sessions, more sessions. Okay, just go through the YouTube video and write to me your feedbacks, and then I can plan more sessions. Okay. Okay, and about this video, you can get this video. I will upload this video on YouTube, right? So you can watch it once again. The complete class recording will be uploaded on YouTube. So you can watch it tomorrow. And about that group, you all follow this Facebook page, and that interview group will be created, and I will post on my Facebook page, right? Where you can join that particular group. Okay, any follow-up question you can ask me in my inbox. Thank you, good night. Bye bye everyone, you have been great attendees. Thank you so much, and good luck for your interviews.